the Riverside Township Board of Trustees to order. Please rise and join me. And Trustee Clark, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Present.
Trustee Drapka?
President accounted for.
Trustee Lufer?
Here.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Present.
Supervisor Wilt?
Here.
Let the records note Clerk Blau's in attendance.
Thank you very much. You have before you the minutes of the regular board meeting of April 10th. What is your pleasure?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of April 10th, 2018.
I have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any additions or corrections?
I do have one addition. Ben Sells, the president of Riverside, was here. He's not on our visitors log here, so.
He probably failed to sign in, so
Right, so-
thank you for adding that.
Is that SELLS?
Yes,
I
it is.
believe it is, yep.
Are there any other additions or corrections?
I do have one,
Yes.
where it says trustee Lupper noted that he and trustee Heilenbach attended the Hauser Food Drive kickoff, not trustee Clark. Second page,
Oh, okay.
trustees reports, second paragraph.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a picture of us in our,
Wait, no, where's,
It's trustee reports, second paragraph.
yeah,
You know what, that's not the, you know what, no, we were there, Tom.
Yeah.
It was at the auditorium.
that was correct.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
when they first kicked it off.
Right,
That
because-
wasn't
No,
the thing where
The-
you and Tim, or trustee
Right.
Heilenbach and your.
right, this was the kickoff.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's no correction there?
No correction.
No correction.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, then I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes with one correction, or one addition, I should say. Is there then all in favor of approving the minutes as corrected? Please signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. You also have on your table, you have the minutes of the closed session.
I make a motion that we accept the closed session minutes.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the closed session minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor of approving these minutes signify with aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you. All right, moving on, are there any communications?
We have quite a few communications actually this evening. Riverside School District 96 sent a thank you for the support of their Cougar Advanced Program for the 8th graders. The next one is from the Boy Scouts of America, thanking us for our $3,000 pledge. The next one is the Riverside Township Lions Club. They'd like to thank us for using the hall upstairs for their chicken dinner and to be a sponsor of that. The next one is from the American Cancer Society for our support of their West Suburban Relay for Life. And the last one is from, I guess we gave a donation to buy power tools for a theater group.
Oh, yeah, that was also at Hauser, right. That was a
And
friend.
they thanked us, and they said that their show was a huge success, and they have a picture over here. And they mentioned us in their flyer that they had. So if any other trustees want to see this, you want me to pass this around for everybody? It's very nice, a nice, and that concludes the communications this evening.
Thank you very much. No action required on those, so we will later ask for participation regarding the grants, but are there any remarks from the visitors before we get to the grants? Nope. Okay, then we'll move on. I know that a lot of you are here because of potential grants, and so we'll move right to those. And is there anyone here from the Chamber of Commerce? Would you mind if we allowed the police department grant to go before you, even though it's in this order? Okay, thank you. So we have number 3 grant, because I know that you've been on duty all day, so we'll move this along to the Riverside and Brookfield Police Department grant number 3. If you would like to address it, the grant is in your packets, and we have pretty much it's the same grant application that we've received from each of Riverside as well as the Brookfield Police Department, and it's a safety matter. So we have someone to address that. If you would please identify yourself for the cameras.
Sure.
And
I am Deputy Chief Ed Petrak from the Brookfield Police Department.
welcome.
Thank you. Just like to share some pictures with you guys before I talk here.
Okay. I mean, we each get one? Is that
Yeah,
what
I've
this
got
is?
enough for everybody.
Okay.
Oh, good, some visuals to go along with the application. All right.
Supervisor Wilt and Board of Trustees, thank you for your previous support of Brookfield. We've chosen to focus on school safety and pedestrian safety within Riverside Township. If you notice in some of those pictures, actually the one with the kids crossing over by RB, you'll see a safety paddle out there, and that was one of the first recent grants that we used from Riverside Township to focus on school safety. We have a lot of those stand-up standards within the town near schools, by our circle, by Hollywood School, and all of that helps promote safety. It gets people to slow down and recognize that they're approaching a pedestrian crossing. The most recent grant we used to purchase a speed sign that is on Washington Avenue, real close to Hollywood School and near RB. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on that. I think it's really helped to slow down traffic and really helped with school and pedestrian safety in that area there. So this year we wanted to continue again and focus on some safety issues out by RB. And together with the Riverside Police Department and Riverside Brookfield High School, we've talked about trying to improve that main crosswalk outside of the main entrance to RB. And we did some research and we found these flashing signs that are within the packet there. They're solar operated. They're similar, you'll see them near bike trails. You'll see them in just heavily, where there's heavy traffic and heavy both vehicle and pedestrian. And we thought that this would really improve the safety of the students that are crossing there. That's the main crosswalk to get to the parking lot for the kids. It's also the main crosswalk that feeds into the football stadium where they do a lot of, whether it's the football games or different athletic activities. That's a crosswalk that they use. So the grant that we're seeking is to improve that crosswalk and the safety there by the purchase of these signs, and one will be on the Brookfield side and one will be on the Riverside side.
So it's actually the street, it's just for golf, right between the building and the field. Doesn't even deal with crossing over, like in the front of the school or by First Avenue, correct?
Right. No, this is in the middle of golf there.
Mostly zoo traffic there then, probably?
It's both. I mean, we've got problems with a lot of zoo traffic, especially early in the morning, and then at dismissal time, we've
The
got
school traffic itself.
kids that are leaving, and also the employees at the zoo almost simultaneously are leaving at the same time as the students. So it is a concern for us, and we really think that upgrading the safety at that crosswalk will help a lot, and it'll just identify the drivers. They'll see the signage and things like that, and let them know, just like our speed signs and stuff like that, that kids are present and to slow down. And
Is it an LED flash?
it is an LED flash. It's solar operated. There'll be a flashing below the sign, and then also in the signage itself, there'll be LED lights that'll light up. So the kids will walk up to press the button, that'll flash. It'll alert drivers on both sides that kids are going to be crossing there. So
it just flashes yellow, it's not really a stop thing, is that right?
correct. It's like a yellow
Flashing.
back and forth flashing.
And this is in the middle of the road. I mean, it's not at the corner, it's in the middle, kind of right where the main entrance is to RV.
Right.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
Yeah, around back now.
yeah. The south entrance to the zoo is Gulf Road.
Yeah.
And then the main entrance to high school, it used to be in the front. Now it's in the back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of between the main entrance to the school and the south entrance of the zoo is that crosswalk, and it leads directly into that football stadium there. So.
How long will these solar panels last for?
Well, we're thinking that the solar panel that we have on Washington there, it pretty much stays active unless, and we had a period during the winter time when we didn't get a lot of sunshine, and it didn't work for a couple of, maybe a day or two, but it holds a charge a very long time, so it should do a nice job there. There's not a lot of trees there, so they should get plenty of sunlight.
Are these similar to the Grange has them on 47? Worcester Springs has them on Ogden, I believe. And they're pedestrian activated. So you
Right.
walk up, you hit it, starts blinking, and you cross.
It's very similar to the one in Western Springs that you see as you go down Ogden Avenue by the bike trail.
Right.
And that's exactly how it would operate. You press it, and it's very bright, and you definitely know that there's...
Are there going to be things in the street? The Grange has flashers literally in the street that can just go on. I thought that might be a little...
That was an option. It's an extra cost. You have to get into the roadway as well. So this, I think, was, at least to get things started, I think was the best route for us anyway.
Any other questions?
I make a motion that we approve this grant of $11,609.18.
I have okay.
Do I have to say, to split between the police department of Brookfield and the police department of Riverside?
It's probably one of those things that we would actually pay for directly, I think.
Yeah.
The way that these, because we don't like to give government unit to government unit money.
Right.
So
right.
it would actually be, we would pay the invoice directly,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So it's the $11,609.18 is the total
Correct.
amount for both, that both are applying for.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the Riverside and Brookfield Police Department grant request. Any further discussion?
I do want to say I think this is a great example of multi-jurisdictional units coming together to solve a problem that affects all of us. So thank you for working with the Riverside Police Department and coming to us.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Thank you.
And also, we'd like to see that throughout the government agencies,
Well-
a little cooperation here and there.
Let's take the vote on it first before we pat them on the back. So, Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll on this?
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your support.
Congratulations.
Thanks for coming in, Deputy Chief. Appreciate it.
All right. I would like to note for the other applicants, and I'm sure that once that's installed, we'll grant them a photo opportunity, but we do have a big check in case your grant is approved this evening. If you would like a photo opportunity, we can fill that out and do that for you, but let's go through all the grants first, okay? So we'll double back to grant number 1, which is the Riverside Chamber of Commerce for cruise night and car shows. Is there someone here to speak to that?
I was here for that, there's a grant for Riverfest.
Yeah, okay, and that's the next one. There are 2 grants, so.
I'm not here to speak to
Okay,
that one.
not a problem, not a problem. So we do have a request for, and this is, typically we're asked to fund the Porta-Potties. We're getting to have a reputation for those, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little flushed over it.
I make a motion that we approve this grant for the Porta-Potties for the Riverside Chamber for the car shows, the 3 Thursday night car shows, and the 1 big one that's usually at the end of September.
All righty, and that,
And can I say, this brings so many people to town.
yeah.
And it's so much work for the chamber and for Riverside Garage, who's the one that's really behind this. So I make a motion that we approve this.
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the grant for the cruise night and car shows. Is there any further discussion before we call the vote?
Yeah, I do have some questions. And this isn't the only one, but there is a trend of grant applicants coming to us year after year with ever increasing amounts. I'm of the opinion that our grants should be ever decreasing amounts. I think we should be a startup, we should help them get going, and once they're on their feet, reduce our financial contribution to them. So seeing that I don't think porta-potties have gone up $800 in the last 6 years, so I'm not sure why the grant amount keeps going up when the porta-potty rental
I
doesn't
believe
have it.
it's because there's more of the events. I don't know that they started with 3 plus the 1. There's 3 cruise nights, and then there's the big car show. And perhaps because of the number of participants, it may be that they've increased the number of porta-potties. Because, for example, also for, let me see. You can see that the invoices are right there as to what we're paying for.
I was just gonna say, the invoices for all these are
And so
on
for
there for $280 each.
The big car show, I know in the previous years, there've been like 200 cars that are come in. It's really a great event and brings a lot, well, each of these.
People in.
So,
But I also noticed, though, Trustee Lumford, that the total amount is actually lower than last year because they asked for something else as well. So the total amount is lower than what we awarded them last year. But I do agree with you, I'd like to see the finances on whether or not did they come up short or did they actually turn a profit. I know the next grant from Riverside Chamber, talks about a win, lose, or draw situation, but I would agree with you, I would like to see more finances on it.
Yeah.
I don't know that the total grant, I see what you're saying, that this is less than we did, but I suspect that we'll be approached again for the magic show.
Oh, I thought that it was a whole.
the magic
all in-
show
No, this is,
that,
when you've got these stripes, the
Christmas.
slash marks between them, it
Gotcha.
means that it was a separate grant.
Ah,
the magic show is the, what they do at the holiday stroll.
Right.
So, and the
Yeah.
magic show is here, so that's why
So
we
yes,
always
the
find
prices,
these,
Gotcha.
again, I would guess, I'm not seeing the other applications that we may be increasing the number of porta potties because of the participation rate.
When I look at financials and I see an increase of 80% jumped out at me.
Right.
So, I mean,
I understand. All right, is there any other discussion, or are we ready for the vote on this?
one more question. How many years have we been getting the porta-potties for the car show?
Well, at least since since 2013.
And actually, if you look toward at the back, you should have the whole grant list. It's usually backed by your warrants and financials. There's the total grant list, and that would go farther back.
So,
It's been a number of years.
it's been a number of years. Okay.
All right?
Actually, if you look at the last invoice, the difference between last year and this year is $115, and it appears that they've added a portable hand sanitizer, I think, another restroom with the hand sanitizer, so I think that's where the increase is this year.
I think we're very lucky to have people that want to, put on these car shows that bring people to Riverside so they can see how great our township is.
Okay. Any other discussion? Then Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Thank you. Next is another request, this time for the Riverfest, and I know that we have someone here who would like to speak to this one. Again, Porta-Potties, but this is a newer event, so maybe you'd like to explain a little bit about it.
Fair enough. So the invoice is actually... Oh, sorry. So Nick Fournier, and I am a co-chair of the event for the Riverside Chamber of Commerce. The invoice that we attach is actually equipment specific. So the grant money that we would take from here would be for the tenting and the main stage, the grandstand, if you will. Riverfest is basically the legacy event from the old steak fry. And, what it has done, I think, it brings thousands of people into the area. A lot of them are local, but a lot of them are, throughout the township and from neighboring villages. So we're trying to walk a fine line of making it a very inclusive event and not drive up the cost to the patrons. And so we're kind of at this point where either you scale it back and make it a smaller event so that we can actually make a profit on it, or start, gouging people more or less, and we really don't want to do that. We really would like it to just be more of an inclusive event and get as many people into the area as we can.
So in this case, you're looking for a couple of tents, you're looking for trash barrels, the stage, and a frame tent, and then, of course, there's a fee because the pickup would be late at night, right?
Right, and
So-
yeah, and that's their standard.
Right.
The same invoice that we've paid historically, and it's the same equipment that we've been paying for. This is, I know it's technically a grant. It's, to us, it's a dent in our sponsorship and kind of a head start on the event.
Okay.
So, first of all, I guess this answers the question previously, then this takes us out of sponsoring for the holiday stroll because this is your 2 grants for the year. Essentially, yes. My question is, how come there's 2 different people who filled this out? You filled out this one, and then there was another person who filled out the one for the Riverside Chamber, the other Riverside Chamber.
fill this one out, Greg.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, but, I mean, why were there 2 different people that filled
Chairs
out
of
the-
different events?
Well, Janice is the 3rd vice president of the chamber. Greg is 1st vice president. Nick is a co-chair, aren't you, Nick?
Correct.
Of this, or-
Yeah, I'm a co-chair for this specific
event.
event.
What concerns me is you were talking about for-profit, and we don't really give grants to for-profit things? You're saying the chamber is trying to make a
I mean, I think
profit
break
on that?
even. I think like this is the third year now that we've done it, and we haven't really made money on the event.
We've had terrible weather.
Yeah,
Well, it is weather. It's weather dependent. Every year, you know, it's really hot, and so yeah. I mean, if the rain comes out, there was one year we had the storm. That was a big loss on the event. Last year we did pretty well, but still, because of the number of activities that we have going on there, we're still coming out of pocket for it as an event. So I think I misspoke when I said for profit. I think we just want it to be kind of a break even, but something that promotes businesses in the area, brings people into our area, and everyone can have fun at for a reasonable buck, right? I mean, we're selling beers for $3, $4 a pop, and you know, reasonably priced food, and the family area is free. You know, you don't even have to buy a wristband at this point. So, if we can sustain that, it's a more inclusive event for everyone, and I think that's better for the town.
Yeah, I
Have you
think,
closed? I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry, Trustee Lewis.
I'm, of the two grants, this is one that I would, I have a lot more enthusiasm for.
Because it's a newer.
It's a newer event, we're helping it get up, it's getting established. Once it's established, and it can generate its own funds, and I think that's kind of our role. Being only the third year, looking for structural assistance is something I favor.
Thank you.
I would just like to speak to the nonprofit matter. An organization being nonprofit doesn't mean that their events have to be losing propositions. So in order for them to generate the interest in the community, obviously, you don't want to lose on every event you run, because then that would, you know, it's all right to make a profit per event as long as it's being put back into the community and the purposes of the organization. Okay.
Not take the money and go to Molly's.
No.
That's correct.
Do you close East Avenue for this event?
Yeah.
Yes.
You do, okay.
Yeah, what about, how are the people gonna know that Riverside Township was sponsoring?
Sure. Yeah. I mean,
Stage and with the band that you have, which are usually very good.
yeah, fair question. And I mean, we can basically make the township one of the featured sponsors. Every year we have different banners, and our regular sponsors that are paid in have gotten that. You know, this is worth about 5 slots of sponsorship. So 5 positions, whether it's on the stage or it would be very prominent placement for the township. We would definitely put that out there for sure.
And we have not been a sponsor in the past.
No.
Not that I recall,
Not this
no. I
event.
don't.
No, it would be, we would have notes on it.
I don't think.
No,
I don't
correct,
think-
yeah. Yeah, this is the first time we.
I think it came at, it was a little too late, I
It was
think, by the
late.
time we got it last time.
Okay, yeah.
Because of our timing on grants,
Yeah.
I think that was what happened last year.
Correct.
All
And
right,
that was, we just had no idea what the process was,
Right.
so we dropped the ball.
all right. So, what is your pleasure?
I move that we accept the grant from the Riverside Chamber of Commerce for $25.74.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the grant request for the Riverside Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $25.74 for Riverfest. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Then if Clerk Blau would please call the roll.
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Drapka,
Yes.
trustee Hollenbach,
Yes.
trustee Lufer,
Yes.
supervisor Wood,
Yes.
motion carried.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you there.
Thank you. All right, on to item 4, Riverside Arts Center. Do we have a speaker to that one? This is a request for the Riverside Arts Weekend. No?
Nope, actually,
No, that
this
is
is,
not. I take it back.
My name is Kim Dixon. I'm a Riverside resident, and I'm on the board of directors for the Riverside Arts Center. And we'd like to thank you for your generous support over the many years of $8,250 has not gone up. And we requestfully request the same support again this year. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary, and we believe that RAC truly enriches and engages the Riverside community, as well as attracts people from outside of our community, thus gaining exposure for Riverside. Our school reaches out to hundreds of students in District 96 and beyond throughout the year through outreach programs, and the funds that we've received from you all help support our teachers in those efforts. Our gallery attracts artists and visitors from inside Riverside as well as Chicago and throughout the region, and it's gaining more and more notoriety and prestige and attracting more interesting artists all the time. We engage in all the community festivals, and this year we're looking forward to partnering with the Olmsted Society, who's celebrating their 50th anniversary, on the Hop Stop, where we will co-celebrate our anniversaries. And of course, we have our building on Quincy Street, which is an anchor over there on Quincy Street. And again, it serves as a gathering place for students, teachers, visitors, artists. And the support that we receive from you just really boosts our budget and helps us be able to maintain our building, maintain our programs, and continue to outreach and engage with the community in ways that we feel really enrich our village.
Questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the grant for the Riverside Arts Center.
I have a motion to approve the grant for the Riverside Arts Center.
I'll second it.
I have a question. On your classes, how many of the students are Riverside Township residents?
I don't honestly know those demographics, but I think it's the overwhelming majority. And then when we reach out to the schools, we're in all the District 96 schools and the preschools. So, you know, we're really connecting with the vast majority of the children in our community, either through paid classes or programs that go into the schools.
Any other questions?
Just a question. Again, this gets to it becoming a subsidy more than a grant. And at a certain point, I'm not against it. I obviously think it's a great idea. Sure. But should it be moved over to town programs fund rather than our grant fund at a certain point?
We don't have control over it, so
Yeah,
we really
that's
can't call
what-
it a town fund. Yeah.
All right, so at some point, maybe we have a meeting where we lay out, I mean, we did this a little bit, but I'd like to see a little bit more structure and guidelines to what we feel giving out grants, and some guidelines and parameters for that. Because if we're giving $8,000 a year for 10 years, that really isn't a grant anymore, that's a subsidy. So it's more internal for us. I mean, it's the way we're doing it at this point, so it's a great application. But I think for us as a board, we need to look at this a little closer down the road.
Right.
I forgot one of my speaking points. In terms of recognition, we do have a very robust catalog publication program, and we do thank you all for your grants in those publications,
yes,
as well as the banners and programs at our events.
By the way, there are some materials that are copied in your books, but there's also some full color. There's a full color thing that some of that came from that you might want to take a look at.
I just have a question. How are the artists picked to put the pictures in your gallery?
I am not on the gallery committee, so I don't know for sure, but we do have a gallery subcommittee that receives applications and reviews them and and votes on who
So
to
a
represent in
normal
the
person,
gallery.
an artist could submit something to,
Artists are normal people, yes.
I think she means, are they people that are within your programs, within your
or
classes?
is it outside, is it open to the outside of your programs? Or-
It's a mix. For example, the RB AP art class will have their annual exhibit soon. And on the other end of the spectrum, we are attracting notable regional artists, which bring people from Chicago and the extended areas to the gallery for openings. They make purchases.
So they could contact you about this.
You're
Yes,
talking about
absolutely.
the pictures we have on the wall here,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Oh, the ones here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, yes, we do regularly have pieces installed here as well. And I can get more information on how that process works.
Could you possibly get that?
Sure.
for me? Thank you, I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. That's all right.
All right, are there any more questions or any more discussion? Then I have a motion to approve the grant to the Riverside Arts Center in the amount of $8,250. Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Congratulations.
coming.
All righty, onward.
Nobody's taking advantage of the big checks.
Well, I did ask that they wait until we finish all of them, and certainly, and when we send the checks, I do send a letter that says, if you'd like that photo opportunity, you can come on back, and we can arrange that. So our next grant request is from People Care, and I see that we have a representative here.
Yes, you do. An old one.
Oh,
Not too bad. I'm Bruce Jablonski. I'm the director of People Care. For those of you who don't know, my mother started People Care 29 years ago this year in Riverside. We're a small not-for-profit that does these days mostly transportation and visitation of older adults in Riverside Township as well as the other surrounding communities. This past year, we did between 3,000 and 4,000 services in the area. About 30 to 40% of that is Riverside Township. The remainder of that is in other communities or parts of Brookfield that aren't in, this area. We do volunteer transportation for older adults. They call us a couple of days in advance, tell us where they want to go, and we pick them up and take them there, wait for them, and bring them back. We have a bi-weekly, which means twice a week in this case, shopping program where we partner with Cantata. Cantata provides the bus and the driver. We provide a caregiver that helps the people on and off the bus with their groceries, helps them shop, and helps them put the groceries away at the end of the day. We also have a cab programs where we help subsidize that for older adults. We're in partnership with Aging Care Connections in LaGrange on that. They help us with some funds from the state and federal government for transportation. What it's allowed them to do is to give up their bus. And it costs them about a fourth of what it used to cost them for the bus. What happens is a client, a person that uses the cab program buys a book of vouchers, which is worth $20. They buy it for 10, and we subsidize the remaining half of that. So they can go out and, they can go anywhere they want to go. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. In fact, we had to stop one lady from using that. Unfortunately, she was using it to go to the racetrack every day, and it was not that we were against her going to the racetrack, but people that had to use it to go and pick up groceries or go to the hospital or whatever weren't able to do that. So now she doesn't do that anymore. So Anyhow, the grant that you have given us over the past years has allowed us to mostly take care of all of the people that work in the office, that field all the phone calls, place the rides. They are, I won't call them salaried because everybody's part-time but me. And actually these days I'm part-time too. In fact, I'm not being paid. I'm doing this on my own. So they work 5 days a week from 9:30 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon, placing rides and making sure that we can set up to take care of the people's needs. So that's basically what People Care does. If any questions that I can answer for you?
Yes, so you said that you receive funding from Aging Care Connections.
Only for the cab program.
Okay.
They help us reimburse that. They give us about half of that half. Okay?
So, but I didn't see that on your statement of operations here. There's nothing.
Well, there's an in and an out on the cab program, I believe. You see there. There's one at the top where money comes.
Oh, the taxi voucher program.
Correct.
Okay, I was looking for
I
money like
understand.
from the AAA or the CCU or something like that.
Yeah, right. No.
I got it. Okay.
We administer the whole thing. In fact, I do. So we take care of counting out the vouchers. We'd love to get into a program using a Starbucks type card. Too expensive. It's big time money to do something like that. We're just too small to make that worthwhile.
What's the membership fee?
I'm sorry?
The membership fee?
Oh, the membership fee, we probably will be disbanding that. We tried that for a couple of years to help us with funding. A person would pay $60 for a year and get all of the rides that they needed. Obviously, when a ride these days costs, we estimate at about $6 to $7 one way. $60 over 50 rides over a year doesn't really help too much. So a lot of the clients we thought might be kind of negative about that. All of them came back to us and said, why, in, pardon the French, hell didn't you start this earlier? So we're looking at possibly looking at other ways that we might be able to help raise funds over the years. Number one, possibly partnering with Cantata, offering our services to their in-home medical services. And thereby we might be able to split some funds with them depending on services. But right now our total budget, as you can see, is around $60,000. And I don't get paid, like I said, so I just do this because my mom started it and I thought I ought to do something. That's it.
I just have a question because I was approached recently for a special needs person who has aged out of the high school program and
Okay.
participates in some adult programs, but would definitely not be a senior citizen. But the program, the person lives in Riverside Township, but the program he participates in is in Cicero.
Okay.
So getting there is a problem, and I wondered if you would ever consider expanding your mission to other needs like that.
In fact, I have a young man who is in his 20s, who is a special needs person. He has a part-time job, and I drive him twice a week. He's not 60 years old.
Right.
But he can't get a ride. He sort of falls through the cracks.
You may
So
have gotten a
please.
call from the parent, because I did refer them. I
Yeah.
said, I don't know that they do this, but if they don't, they might have another
Well,
resource.
and we
but-
may make a connection for them,
Right.
depending. But yeah, we've done that with a number of people.
Okay, well, thank you.
I thought last year we gave you $10,000 to fix a car or to get a car or get some type of transportation. That wasn't,
No,
I don't think so.
no, we've never wanted to own a
Okay.
vehicle because
There
that's
must have been
very,
another
very
one.
costly. Like I said, we've cut Aging Care Connections cost on the bus by a quarter, it's about a quarter to run the cab program versus having your own bus or vehicle.
Right.
Very expensive. So.
Have you thought of Uber?
Well, we have used Uber for some of the cab programs. The
Okay.
problem with many of our clients, anybody who's maybe in their 60s to 75, maybe my age, we can use that. The 80 and 90-year-olds can't use their cell phones well enough to do that. We've done some concierge service with them, wherein we will call them and say, go pick this person up. They work with us on it, especially Lyft rather than Uber. Lyft has done a little better job of that. We're going to try to do a little more of that in the future, because that kind of opens things up for people and helps with the volunteerism too, which is something we really need.
Okay.
So the grant, the $10,000 would be used,
Basically for operational use.
okay, so to support the office.
Correct.
All that
I make a motion
coordination.
that we approve the grant for People Care.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the grant to People Care in the amount of $10,000. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Blau, would you please call for the vote?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I
Okay.
thank you very much again. Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for the service you
Thanks.
provide.
For your service, sir.
Yes. All righty, next item is Riverside Parks and Recreation. I don't think there's anybody here to speak to that one. Is there somebody here for Little League? Then since I do know we have somebody here waiting for Golden Agers, if you wouldn't mind, let us move that one up and take a look at the grant for the Golden Agers.
By the way, I will take advantage of that big check.
Okay, hang on for a few minutes and we'll take care of that. Great. Okay, so you have a grant application for $5,000 for the Golden Agers of North Riverside. Also attached, you'll remember last year, we felt that we didn't have enough information, and I did write to the organization and ask for additional information, which was provided in October. So we've attached that, and I think we also have included their bylaws, so you know what they're about. So did you want to speak in favor of this, or would you be willing to answer? Oh, okay. Well, perhaps you can answer if there's any questions from the board. Perhaps your ladies will be able to answer those. Are there any questions for the Golden Agers?
I don't see any legal form of entity here. Are you under the Village of North Riverside, or are you a separate?
No, we belong to North Riverside.
You
At the
belong to-
bottom, Trustee Clark, if you look, it says join the club, North Riverside's Golden Agers. At the bottom of that, it says North Riverside's Park and Recreation.
And does North Riverside give you any money?
Yes, they give us $2,500 every December.
2,500?
They do.
But you're asking us for 5,000?
Yes.
Seems like a lot of cash is being handed out.
It does seem like a lot. And what is this 5,000 gonna go for?
That's to supplement anything that it takes place, trips, to participate in anything that is going on in the village, the members, to supplement the members.
I mean, there is one liner, senior trip comes along, we give each senior $10. I know it's only $10, but I really don't want to be subsidizing gambling.
Maybe they're
buying dinner with it, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's still.
In the report that we received in October, one of the things it says, if a casino trip comes along, we give each senior $10 to do what they want with it.
Okay,
So
all right.
if they're gambling it, that's not something that we're anxious to be supporting.
How do you feel about bingo? $100 was given out in prize money?
Yes.
Do you charge for the cards?
One is free and the other is 50 cents.
Seems like 5,000 is a lot of money.
Well, we went over this last year. This, like, in my opinion, it's a little bit more like a slush fund, in all due respect. I mean, I'm surprised that the Village of North Riverside doesn't give this club more money than $2,500. And then, you know, the township is being asked to supplement more money when we have a smaller portion of residents in the Village of North Riverside where the village could supplement this a little bit more.
I agree. I think the Village of North Riverside should supplement this more than.
Well, I mean, to me, it's backwards. To me,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, the Village of North Riverside should be giving $5,000 and the request to us should come in at $2,500, you know? That's just
Plus,
me looking at it.
we wouldn't be able to give this directly to the Golden Agers when we have to give this to the North Riverside.
They've always gotten it directly, they have their own, they have their own account, yes. Now, I would say that what else the village provides, just from my experience, is that they help to organize some of the events for them. Like when they have their holiday luncheon and so forth, the village actually sets that up. So some of it is services in kind rather than financial support. They give the cash for them to spend on their own, but they also support the different activities that they have. I think that the recreation department actually sets up a lot of the things like your bingo event or your luncheon. They actually do the organization of a lot of that, don't they?
Yes, not the luncheon.
Not the luncheon.
Not the meeting luncheon.
Right.
Right.
Those you take care of yourselves, those you
Yes.
purchase.
Yes.
But when you set up the holiday luncheon and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yes, and we are trying to make it only Riverside and North Riverside. We are not accepting anyone out of the villages of Riverside and North Riverside.
So you do include Riversiders?
Absolutely. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, we make leaflets out and we put them in we just did this for the first, since I became the president, which is only a couple of months. I'm putting them into the banks of Riverside, the library, and the train station, the grocery stores, wherever they will let me put them.
Just for the record, since this is being recorded, you are Dolores Rizzatello, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you for that. Are you also aware that the township has some senior programs here that your people could participate in?
No, I'm not, but the members that we do have tell me you don't have anything for those.
Well, the
seniors.
township, the village doesn't have anything, but Riverside Township
Okay.
has some senior programs.
Tell her about the senior exercise.
We have our senior exercise class 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at noon. And then we have a monthly program also.
So maybe we need better cooperation and sharing of information.
On that, so we can pass that out.
This
Yes.
month, we're going to the zoo for a
Yes.
ride and a dolphin show. I'm with Mike, this seems backwards to me that, how many Riverside Township residents do you have?
Well, I don't know. You mean for the whole town?
No, I mean that come to your program.
35. And the rest they are grandfathered in, but not any other town can join them now. So
Those are that are from
there's
outside.
60 altogether.
There's 60 that come in, 35 of those are from outside the township?
No,
Is that what you're saying? They're from
North
inside?
Riverside.
Oh, they're just North
And then we
Riverside.
have a full section, which is maybe 12 of Riverside that are just starting to join.
Okay.
So you have just started to advertise to seniors in the village of Riverside to join.
Yes.
So-
No, well, let's say yes. They've been there for maybe a little over a year, but yes.
But you were saying, yeah, you were saying
The
that you were
flyers.
going to the flyers and dropping off the flyers and stuff. So you just started doing it?
Yes,
Maybe what, 3 months ago, 4 months?
yes,
Okay. So it's a work in progress then?
yes.
So this is a group that I think obviously is something we should support. We are a new board. We have different requirements, different than what the old board has. But going forward, I'd like to see a grant with a lot more specificity. I have some serious concerns about the grant application. They're not going to stop me from voting in favor, but I would really like to see what you're going to spend the money on, what the programs are going to be. So maybe the next time you come with a grant application, it can be, it's for this event, for that expense, and really kind of itemize it for us, lay it out for us.
We will.
I think we're a little more sticklers for the details.
Than our predecessors.
Yes.
And I think you guys should exchange phone numbers so that the exercise class and the Golden Natures can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you meet on the first and third Wednesdays,
Yes, we do.
so, I mean, I don't,
You're more than welcome to show up anytime.
but I think North Riverside has their own exercise class, don't they?
I don't know that they have a senior. Does North Riverside Recreation have a senior exercise class?
Yes, they do.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it free?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it? Yes. Yes and no. Some is and some isn't.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, all of ours are.
All of ours are free, but I know other,
They would really be interested in that. Anything that's free, they would really be interested in.
And the more exercise, the better, I mean, right?
Now, I would encourage you, and I did last year in a letter, but maybe it didn't get to the right people. I would encourage you to work with the folks in the recreation department to help put together a more specific grant request that itemizes as you've been asked here, okay?
Yes, absolutely.
I know that Teresa stands willing to help out, and if she can't, somebody on her staff would be helpful in that.
Yes.
And I'd like to see, just one other thing, ladies, and thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
I would like to see what exactly the village of North Riverside puts in for the Golden Agers.
Right,
Not
so,
approximately 25. I want to know what they give for next year, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
No, thank you.
okay.
Guys are wonderful.
Then if there's no further questions, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll on this grant.
There's a motion yet.
Oh, we don't have a motion yet. Oh, that's true.
I thought somebody made a motion, but I didn't hear a second.
No, I didn't make a note or.
No, nobody made a motion.
Do I hear a motion to provide the grant to the Golden Agers?
I'll make a motion, we approve the grant for 5,000
I
for the
second.
Golden Agers.
I have a motion and a second to approve the grant of $5,000 to the Golden Agers of North Riverside. Any more discussion? If not, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes,
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, ladies. Be careful going home.
All right. Thank you. Now we'll double back to item 6, Parks and Recreation from North Riverside. We have a request for the items that we've paid for over the last few years, which is some of the children's features for Autumn Fest.
Oh, this is for Autumn Fest, because it doesn't state what it is on the grant request.
Seniors, right?
I think I have a card.
No, we're in it. I was looking at it, Vera.
You're right,
I
there.
mean, sorry, Supervisor Wilt.
That's all right. That's all right. You can call me Vera. That's not a problem. Yes, that, I do know that that is what this is for, and you can tell by the dates on those contracts that they're asking us to fund.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Thank you.
all right,
Yes.
thank you.
So it would be for Friday, September 14th, which is their Autumn Fest event. And so this would be $1,275. You have the itemized items that it would pay for, including face painting and petting zoo and all.
This is also a nice event.
This is our chili fest, right?
Yeah,
Where
the
Leanne
chili
makes that
cook-off.
really good chili.
Yes.
Yes, it's Autumn Fest.
And we know this is Friday, September 14th.
I'm sorry, this is,
September 14th.
yeah, Friday, September 14th, correct.
Does that say that on here? Am I missing it, or?
Well, it's not on the grant request, but the items, the various contracts or the various quotes or confirmations do show the date. For example, the Miss Doreen face paints says for Friday, September 14th. So does the Robert Hunt prop comic stuntman. So does the, let's see, does this one also? Yes, for 9/14, the petting zoo also lists that as the date, and that is Autumn Fest.
So I make a motion to approve this grant for the North Riverside Parks and Recreation Department.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by trustee Drapka. Do I hear a second?
Go ahead.
I have a motion and a second to approve the grant to the North Riverside Parks and Recreation. Any discussion?
Although I'll bring up trustee Lumford's point here about this being a recurring event.
Yeah, but, we get such good exposure at this event.
No, I completely agree with you there. No. That doesn't, well, that's a different thing entirely, you know, we're there and we're doing the chili, but this is, you know what I mean? This is the funding subsidy.
I really think that it's a discussion for a strategic planning session to figure out how we're going to treat grants, or if we want to look at things that are simply always going to happen, you know, in a different way.
Yes.
That we want to continue to fund, but we can't adopt them as our own programs, so. All right, then we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
This is another one of those grants that keeps ratcheting up. Every year it's a little more. So I think that's a discussion for our strategic planning session.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, in some cases, this one is lower. It's, for example, lower than the total was for 2016. Actually, it's lower than last year's too, because this is only $1,275. Last year, we had $850 plus $325. A year before that, we had $1,325 total, so looks like they are shopping it or negotiating it. All right, then would Clerk Blau please call the roll on this?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And finally, we have the grant request from North Riverside Little League. As you can see, I did communicate with them, asking for a little bit more information, knowing that this board does like to hear more. I think we do know what they do with it. They offset the registration fees for some of the players, and they also give us banner recognition.
So is this for a banner, or is this for our name on the back?
It's a grant that comes with the banner recognition, basically. It would be, the $400 grant would not only help to offset registration fees, but it also provides the recognition of our support with a banner on the field.
So we're not sponsoring a team then?
I believe that it also includes the sponsorship of the team. we get the banner, and I think that there's a sponsorship.
I think there's a sponsorship also.
Yeah, unfortunately, they did not respond to my request for a little clarification, nor did they accept our offer to be here, but they may very well be. All the people who are working with it are probably at practices or games tonight, yes, yeah.
I make a motion, we grant a $400 grant to the North Riverside Little League.
I second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the grant to the North Riverside Little League in the amount of $400. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, thank you. On,
I'm sorry, did you want to do a?
yes,
check?
we have one request. Can we recess the meeting for just a couple of minutes while we do a photo opportunity?
Another time if you want.
We're all here.
The check is,
Let's do it.
meeting is called back into session. Thank you for that brief break. And the next item is under new business. We have item B, the North Riverside Mayor's Golf Outing. Typically, we support this. It's, we have done 2 Eagle sponsorships at $700 each for $1,400 in the past several years.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we purchase 2 Eagle sponsors.
I have a motion and a second to purchase 2 Eagle sponsorships for the North Riverside Youth Scholarship Fund golf outing.
Do we have a second?
Discussion?
Who's gonna, are we gonna, after we approve the motion,
Well,
are we
that
gonna
comes-
decide who's gonna play?
Sure, I mean, this does come with 4 golf and luncheon tickets and a sign at the hole. We actually have 2 of those.
Right, so
So-
we have 8 people can
So we
play.
could do as many as 8 people, yes. How many of you, if we go with this, please let me know if you're interested in golfing. Yes, we'll do it with, through the blast that
Sign
we've been
up,
doing.
Gina? Okay.
This- Yeah,
I'd be glad to get a
you will, okay.
I'll be at the luncheon.
Oh, all right. Well, you can respond to that when the time comes. Any other discussion on this? We have a motion and a second on the floor. It's an expenditure of money, so Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes,
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. The North Riverside Parks and Recreation has provided information about their parade. I know that we had already planned to participate in the other parades, and I believe we responded at your request already, so this would be a matter of whether you want us to also sign the township up for this and then figure out how to split up those who will be in town.
I say we do that, absolutely. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
so we're doing Riverside, Brookfield, and North Riverside?
So
Right, but-
Riverside's lineup is at 8:15, parade starts at 8:45. Brookfield's lineup is at 9, but the parade starts at 10, and this one
Starts at 10.
starts at 10 as well.
But we'll split up the
You would
township
split up after the Riverside like that.
Riverside Parade, right.
Okay, so your pleasure, do I have a motion to participate in this one as well?
So moved.
Or do
I'll
you-
second it.
I have a motion and second to sign up for the North Riverside 4th of July Parade as well. So all in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
I abstain.
Okay.
I'm not gonna vote here on this one because I'm not gonna be here, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna force you to do something.
All right. All right, next is the Talk Spring Conference. I think we've gotten information from everyone, and actually the reservation has been made, so this actually is kind of a moot point. This is something that we've budgeted for, and I think there are 3 of us attending the spring conference. That would be next Wednesday.
I had a question on that.
Yes.
Did they change the date on this? I thought I saw something that it was the 17th. Thursday.
It's normally always the third Thursday.
Yeah, see, that's why I couldn't go, because this falls on a Wednesday, the mental health board meeting, so.
The one that's at William Tell.
Right.
It's like a spring conference. It's not the other dinner meeting that we go to on the third Thursday once a quarter.
Which is May 24th.
Which is, yeah, that's what it, normally it is should have been May 17th. So,
I thought I saw an original flyer that said May 17th on it.
right, you did. Because yes, you did.
Okay, well, I think that I can go on the 16th then.
Oh,
I
really?
couldn't go on the 17th.
It's confusing because it's two, they're, back to back, but one is the spring conference and the other one is like just the trustees meeting.
Yeah, this is the everybody, and the other one is on the 24th, on Thursday, the 24th, and that is the trustees division annual meeting.
Well,
So,
we can.
so you can make this one?
Yeah, I think, I'm pretty
Okay,
sure.
just, would you please verify that
Yeah.
and just email me first
Yeah.
thing or tonight?
Yeah.
So that we can add that one more reservation and cut the check accordingly,
Yes.
because I think the check is ready to go. As a matter of fact, I think in warrants it comes, so the amount might be modified. Okay, so then, please take note also, the trustees division, May 24th, that also,
Have we gotten a thing from Andrew on that?
I thought you did.
I don't think we did.
Didn't you?
because
I don't think we did. That's what.
we got one on this one, but I don't think we got one on this trustees division one.
All right, I will make sure that he does circulate that to you.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Then we have the purchase of equipment for the exercise class, which turned out to be much less than was anticipated. You have the request for an agenda item from trustee Clark, and then you also have the invoice for the actual purchase of the items that were desired, which fortunately we have somebody who buys from this outfit and refers a lot of customers to them. So it came to only $53.90. So I would ask for a motion to approve this purchase.
I make a motion to approve the purchase of $53.90 for exercise equipment for our senior exercise class.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to purchase the equipment in the amount of $53.90 for the senior exercise class. Any discussion? Then roll call because it's.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wills?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Then, so the outfit that we've purchased this from before has moved out of state, and we've been having trouble getting a hold of them. As a matter of fact, we tried to get them to change the hours that are on the window in the office, and they did not respond, so we're trying to work with another company that's local. So just for your information, that signage change is going to be about $300 to change that one panel. But this is just so you can see what we anticipate it would be. We've had some comments that we need to upgrade the signage that we use in parades and other places. So you have a sheet that's kind of a mock-up of right now. We just have our title and name. But that title doesn't always relate to the organization that we represent and with whom that title is. So the new potentially would say Riverside Township and your office and the name. That may require a little bigger panels, or we have to figure out how to lay it out so that we maximize that. But that's kind of for your information, we don't have a quote on it, but because next month's meeting will be only a few weeks away from the 4th of July, I didn't want to leave it to the last minute and wanted you to know what we plan to do. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, because we definitely need to get those signs changed.
Right. And they don't last very long anyway. They go out into the heat and the sun, and then
Oh, do they? Okay.
they mold, they change their shape. It's not that they get moldy, but the shape of them changes. All right. On to the supervisor's report then.
We're not going to have a motion or a vote on that?
We don't have any numbers on
Okay.
it, so. I have your general approval to shop for that.
Yeah.
And then it will appear in warrants in the future. So, regarding the supervisor's report, I'll just update you that regarding the WSSRA, we're waiting for a memo from our lawyers regarding our next steps in how we'll go forward. We had a discussion by phone, and he was going to follow up on a couple of things that came up in that discussion, but I have not received that memo yet. Regarding building use, my apologies. It's still on hold. That's under unfinished business as well. I had some family matters to attend to this past month that took me out of the office much more than I intended. The new hours, we don't know what the impact will be yet because it's only been a week. But with the ad having been published, I did have a couple of calls where people noted that, oh yes, you're open later, so can I come in at such and such a time to do this and that? So we've had a couple. I have to say that the extra hour on Thursdays, the 2 hours haven't exactly broken down the doors, but it's early and people are becoming aware of it. So.
I myself took advantage of the extended business hours yesterday.
Yes, that's good. All right, the grant to Best Buddies that we made at our last grant session came with some excellent recognition. Their event was this past Saturday. I was in attendance there. They contacted us in advance to let us know that they recognize their sponsors, that we would have a table there if there was anything we wanted to put out. I did bring some of our newsletters because their grant happened to appear on the front page of it. So a few of those disappeared off the table, and I brought some of the fans. The location of all of the recognition tables was under a pavilion where they also had food, and they had a photo booth, and they had oversized light bright kind of thing to play with. So there were some activities in there. Most people didn't really notice come around to the tables that much, but they did come around because one of the things that they provided to all the sponsors was like a bucket full of snacks. Now, they had snacks on the other side of the room, but these snacks were more accessible and there wasn't a line. So they were supposed to be for the actual donors, but the snacks, let's say, disappeared even without our team being there. So people did come around, but there were beautiful banners that they had that had our logo, that had sponsorship thank you, and it also had their logo on it, so that if we are sponsors of that again, it was very nicely done. We also received on the table also was a framed thank you, and it's in my office if you want to take a look behind my desk. So it was I have to say that I've gone to a lot of events for various charitable organizations. This was such a positive, happy event. I've been to a lot of cancer walks and things like that, where although it's positive, this was just a very cheerful event. We had some added, and you'll see under the warrants that we had some added general assistance and emergency assistance applications this month. So we've got a couple of new people on general assistance, and I made a couple of grants of emergency assistance for utilities about to be turned off. The food pantry, we once again have received support from Hauser, and this coming weekend we will have drop off from the postal carriers food drive. So last year they forgot about us. We had somebody here waiting for them. They asked us to be here, and then they just totally blanked out and nobody showed up. They've assured us that somebody else is handling it this time, and we'll definitely get a donation. So one of the custodians will be here to receive those donations. The nurse's closet has been receiving several donations. We got some wheelchairs and items this past month. I also attended the senior recognition luncheon where we had nominated someone who then couldn't attend, but it was a very lovely event. Trustee Clark was there as well, as was actually one of the nominees was Steve Kubitsky, so Trustee Kubitsky was there, and several people from the Mental Health Board were there as well, since they work with that organization.
That's a very nice event.
Yes, yes, it was very, very nice at the LaGrange Country Club. I've already told you that the talk conference, we've registered those that indicated they would be there. And I also can report that I attended the Community Support Services Annual Gala. I was invited by the Mental Health Board. They had a ticket available and invited me along, and that was a very nice event as well at the McDonald's, at the Hyatt at McDonald's University. And I can report that the exercise class is averaging about 14 people, and they've had as many as 19 or 20. So it's been a very, very popular event. That's all I have to report, unless you have some questions for me. Are there any trustees' reports?
I would just like to say that Fran and I went to the lobby day, and we had the luncheon, and then we went over to the Capitol, and we called on about 8 of our representatives, and talked about the bill that was trying to abolish townships, and they all felt that that bill was not going anywhere. So we had a really successful trip down there.
Good.
Very good.
The seniors are going to the zoo on Thursday, May 17th. Then we'll have a tram tour, and we go to the dolphin show, and we have lunch, and then they're welcome to stay afterwards if they want, or come back.
Okay. Again, if you need any help with promotion of that, let me
I
know.
will. That's what should the office take the reservations?
We could.
Okay.
We
That's
certainly
okay.
could. Yes. All right. Anybody else? Any other trustee reports?
Just, go ahead.
Okay.
Jump in the gun.
No, that's all right. Any other reports? Then mental health report.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In your packet, I believe it's complete, including the needs assessment that was done by our mental health board. You have a copy of that in your packets. Feel free to peruse through that when you have a chance. I'm proud to say that this assessment cost us $79. 79 bucks, and they did a great job with it. And we are having a strategic planning meeting to go over some of the things that we would like to accomplish in this budget year. And that will be on the 14th, Monday the 14th, in room 3, I believe. So,
14th of May?
yes, sir.
Is room 3 upstairs? Or is room 3?
Room 3 is over here.
Room 3's over here.
It's the small conference room.
Yeah. So, bless you.
Allergy season.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you.
I thought, one quick comment there, I did look through everything here, and I thought that a huge takeaway from this was the percentage of respondents who were not aware of the existence of the mental health board.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, Trustee Drapka, that was when we started planning this survey, that was the thing that I know that I thought for sure was going to happen. Nobody knows what the mental health board does.
Right.
They're starting to. I have to say, we're starting to, we're getting some people that are attending, and I'm excited. This strategic planning event should really move us forward. You know, it used to be the same 3 people. The whole board wanted to be involved, so they're excited about moving forward with some of these initiatives, so.
Yeah, yeah, and it's such a great resource, and it's there to assist and, you know, yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Then let's move on to unfinished business. And we previously had our hearing on the township budget, and we had a motion to present that for approval. So at this time, I will entertain a motion to adopt the 2018-2019 township budget.
Don't we have to approve and adopt it?
Approve and adopt it, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. And I have one to be signed.
I make a motion that we approve and adopt the budget for the 2018-2019 year.
And I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to approve and adopt the budget ordinance for 2018-2019 for Riverside Township. Are there any questions? Then Clerk Blau, would you please take the roll?
Do we have a second?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. And now on to, well, as I mentioned, I've made not enough progress to give you another draft, but I am coordinating with the programs and how the village does theirs, looking at that, and I will then also be submitting it to, for legal review, because we'll have some documents, some contracts that people would sign, so I want to make sure that we have that done correctly. The communications planning, do we have a report from that committee? We did meet since our last meeting, yeah.
Yeah, so, and, you know, I still have to type up the, what we said at that meeting, so we'll have that ready for the next meeting, and then after I circulate that, what I typed up, I don't know if we want to meet again and discuss that, or what our next step should be. So we can do that by email, and then if we feel we need to make.
How'd it go?
We had a good meeting.
I think, yeah, I think it was very productive.
We brought Andrew into it at one point, because, you know.
It was
a lot of it
Vera, and it was Supervisor Wilt, Trustee Lumford,
Fran.
myself, and the assessor, Fran. And then we brought Andrew into it, so we met over lunch. We met at lunchtime.
And thank you for providing that.
So,
All righty. Then on to just the information, reminder that this Thursday, we are participating in the North Riverside Senior Fair. It runs from 10 until 12. It's open to the public. We will have a table. I presume that they will put us where they usually do in the lobby area.
Yeah.
And the little items that you had here are the items that I ordered for that, and we will also have the newsletters available there as well, and some signage and so forth. So if anybody wants to stop in, please feel free to do so.
I'll be working that with
Very good.
Supervisor Wilt.
Great. And then you also have information, an invitation that we received from Beds Plus. I don't know that anybody's ever participated in this, and I don't know if we ever made a grant, but for some reason this came to us. So if anybody's interested in that, I don't think I plan to go for 125 per person, but
This
obviously.
is the first time I've ever seen a fundraiser. We have supported beds in the past.
We've
in different-
supported, yeah.
I'm
Thanks.
wondering if this is because they just built that, it was that
I'm
big
guessing
thing?
that's exactly what it is.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That's what.
So they, and I haven't heard much about how that's operating. If it's,
I don't know if it's even completely open yet.
oh, okay.
I thought
It
it
is-
had a grand opening.
They did have I know there are people living there in the opening, and if we ever wanted to go on a tour, I'm
That
sure
is
that they
available.
would take us. I know at, where my mom lives at Plymouth Place, they had a tour over there, over at the Beds thing. It seems to be nice. There's, everybody has like a little individual apartment with a kitchen and a bathroom and a,
So this is for a little more extended, this is not like
Right.
a
28
temporary
days.
shelter.
right, yeah. That's what, I think, I don't know if it's each one has a one bedroom or if it's a studio.
Probably a studio.
I think it's a studio, but, it seems to be going well. It's a perfect location for it.
Yeah, I know that there was some concern in the neighborhood, but I think that that is a good location. It's not really a highly desirable area to build regular residential area, it's a little
Right.
too trafficked, so. All right. Is there anything else? If not, we'll move on to the warrants, and I think I gave
I have it.
the crib sheets to trustee Drapka, so,
No, I did have a question on the general warrants.
yes.
Is that one reflected in the new amount here?
Yes.
Okay. So I make a motion that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant of May 8th, 2018, in the amount of $40,035.24 is presented to the board on the 8th day of May 2018.
I have a motion to accept the general warrant for May 2018 in the amount of $40,035.24. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Wait a minute,
There's another copy that was
Right,
put in your
There should be
mailbox.
one with an asterisk. There should have been one in your, maybe it was,
okay, all right.
you might have already had your book, so it was probably left in your mailbox. And so I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hellenbach?
Yes,
Trustee Lufer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I make a motion that the board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the following warrants. Utility warrant in the amount of $1,562.24. Payroll warrant in the amount of $16,105.71. Health warrant in the amount of $1,675.90. Petty cash in the amount of $143.25. General assistance warrant in the amount of $4,991.18. Township radio players warrant in the amount of $453.09. And food pantry warrant in the amount of $88.96.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the following warrants. Utility warrant in the amount of $1,562.24. Payroll warrant in the amount of $16,105.71. The health warrant in the amount of $1,675.90. The petty cash warrant in the amount of $143.25. General assistance warrant in the amount of $4,991.18. And the township radio players warrant in the amount of $453.09. The food pantry warrant in the amount of $88.96. Clerk Blau, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Drapka?
Yes.
Trustee Hollenbach?
Yes.
Trustee Lupfer?
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Then, if there's nothing more to come before this board, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried.